So, the iPhone 14 has just launched, the new generation of Apple smartphones. Apple claims it to be the best iPhone ever. But, is it really the best? Is the iPhone 14 really as good as Apple claims it to be? And most important, should you buy one or should you wait? Let's find out right now. So what's up, Protex here, and now we are going to take a look on the specifications for the new iPhone 14. So we are going to be comparing them to the iPhone 13. So when it comes to the display, the size is pretty much the same, and when it comes to the processors, between the 14 and the 13 is also pretty much the same, almost. The iPhone 14 supplies us with 5 GPU cores instead of 4, and in the iPhone 13 even the camera system remains unchanged for the most part. So I really don't know what Apple's plan was for encouraging people to buy the new iPhone 14, because I can tell you that it didn't really work, because for the most part people were complaining that it is pretty much the same thing as the 13 Pro, which it is, but with some removed hardware aspects, but with some new software modifications. Not only did they ditch the mini version, which I was a really big fan of, they added the Plus version, which is just a bigger model of the regular iPhone 14. The iPhone 13 and 13 mini are still on sale on the Apple website, but the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max just got removed. The upgrade from the iPhone 12 to the iPhone 13 was already questionable, but now looking at the specs from the iPhone 14, it really isn't worth it to upgrade from the iPhone 13 or 13 Pro to the iPhone 14. For those that already have an iPhone 13, the upgrade makes absolutely no sense, but for those that have an iPhone X or even lower, you can safely upgrade. But I would say for those that have an iPhone 11 or even a newer version, I would really think about it before I upgrade, because it isn't really worth it. When it comes to the Plus model, I personally would spend $100 more to get the Pro version, because you don't really get any software or hardware benefits when it comes to the regular iPhone 14. All you get is a bigger display, but for $900 I would expect to get at least a Pro Motion or even some tweaks when it comes to the camera. But we don't even get that. So now to the much exciting part, the Pro models. The feature of the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. The dimensions and weights stay pretty much the same, but let's go to the more exciting part, the all new body. Now let's get serious, the display has been upgraded. Now the peak brightness is 2000 nits, and they even added an always on display, but as we all know, they have some modifications to it. We all seen the always on display on Android phones like many years ago, but iPhone is coming with it just now, and here's why. As we know, the always on display is a black screen with a clock on it, but iPhone has made some modifications that it is a whole dimmed wallpaper with clock, widgets and an extremely low Hz display. The refresh rate of the display comes at only 1 Hz, which is really battery efficient, and you don't really see it because you don't use your phone when it's on always on display, which in my opinion is a really cool feature. So the screen resolution also got higher because of the new dynamic island, but there's just some pixels on top that are freed, so it really shouldn't make a big difference when it comes to picture quality. So let's talk about the dynamic island. A lot of people make fun of it because of the name, but when you really look at it, it really is awesome what the dynamic island can do. All the software features that the dynamic island gives us is a whole new level of interaction with your phone. Apple has managed for a simple camera notch to change shapes, actually have a good purpose, and even show notifications. And it also has Face ID because Apple is all about that. Now, going from the design and the display, the Pro models will supply us with the new updated A16 Bionic chip. It is made using a 4nm process, and for the tech newbies out there, the smaller the technical process, the greater performance and the energy efficiency really is. It is more powerful than the A15 Bionic chip, and it also uses 20% less power. We also can't forget to mention the battery life for the Pro models, as Apple claims it will last you around 23 hours of video playback for the Pro models and around 29 hours when it comes to the Pro Max. They have a new feature called the crash detection. It has built-in sensors that can detect when you are in a car accident or something similar. and it automatically sends a message to 911 or any of your emergency contacts. Moreover, they also added a feature for satellite communication. For those that are really adventurous and go on trips a lot, you don't have to worry about getting lost again, because Apple has implemented a new special app which shows you in which direction the satellite is. All you need to do is aim your phone at the satellite and the message will go through. Now finally, the camera. Apple claims that iPhones are really used by filmmakers, so they really focus on that part to make the camera as best as possible. For the Pro models at least. This update has brought a larger 48 pixel main sensor, which is a lot more than the 12 megapixel we got in last year's model. We also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 12 megapixel telephoto got wider apertures and improved low light. Also, sensor shift stabilization got upgraded, and talking about sensor stabilization, they added a whole new feature called the action mode. The night photography has also some new tweaks to it. The new processing technology is called Photonic engine, and they say it delivers up to 2 times better low light shots than the iPhone 13 Pro. At least that's what Apple claims. They also couldn't forget the cinematic mode that now supports 4K HDR at 24 FPS and even 30 FPS. So going on to the front facing camera, it has received an autofocus, photonic engine and a wider aperture f1.9 versus the 2.2 we got in last year's model. That really should improve the front camera when it comes to selfies or the overall experience. And that's pretty much it. So should you upgrade to the new iPhone 14? Yes and no. So if you have an older iPhone, like an iPhone 11 or less, I would say go for the 14 or 14 Pro. I wouldn't go for the 14 Plus because it really doesn't have any software or hardware advantages to it, and for $900 I really would expect a better display, a camera or something like that. So the 14 will do just fine for you. The 14 Pro, that's a whole new level of experience, but it also comes at its own price point. In America it's around $1,000 and in Europe it's around 1,300 or even more. So if you already have an iPhone 12, 13 or even 13 Pro, I really wouldn't suggest you to upgrade unless you really need it. So when it comes to the iPhone 12, I would go for the iPhone 14, maybe the 14 Pro if you have the money, but you will see a big difference when it comes to that point. But if you have an iPhone 13 or 13 Pro, the only reason you should upgrade is to the 14 Pro, because there really isn't big difference between the 13 Pro and the 14, which is really disappointing from Apple's part, but that's just how it is. When it goes to the Pro version, it really is a beast and we can't really argue about it, so just go for it if you have the money. So, what do you think about the new iPhone 14? Will you buy one or will you wait? I really would like to know, so leave a comment in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I catch you in the next one. Peace!